Bioterror, you are being monitored and manipulated. By Shubham Srivastava. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, businesses, places, religion, gender, caste, events, locales, and incidents are either the products of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Author doesn't endorse/promote any sort of violence towards the same. This book needs to be read under strict parental guidance. Not suitable for people below 15. Prologue. My eyes are opened. But who am I? I barely could recall. What you're doing to me? I asked a man who is fitting something weird to my left side of the chest. He replied, congratulations, I brought you back from death. What? But how? And who are you? And why I'm here? I asked, you're Alexandra 7 and I brought you from the graves. You couldn't recall much about that because your memories are stored with me. You could thoroughly recall everything after your system begins to accept dichotomies that I made. What it is? 1. The thing right here on your left chest is an energy reactor that converts electrical energy into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That in turn nourishes your cells and muscles. You will live forever as long as you keep on charging the dichotomies. I would love to. But what's your name? And you didn't tell me why you brought me here. Fair question. My name is Dr. Adonis, but you could call me Ad. You're in an island X and I've designed a special mission for you. Which is to kill the Prime Minister of China. Adonis told. What? Yep, this is your first assignment and there is plenty more. What if I so no? Alexandra 7 told. You could not say so, my dear friend. Adonis walks 4 steps far from the stretcher on which Alexandra 7 was lying. He picked up a remote from the table and pressed the play button. A door opened wide from the right side of the laboratory. He found 3 people closed in strong glass-typed caged. They all are thumping the walls of glass as if they were kidnapped. With an evil smile, Adonis told, your parents will not be spared. They'll be dead. If you refuse to work on my assignments, Alexandra 7 - how could I believe in you? You barely even know them. Adonis ho. 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 Seems like the regeneration process rate of your dead brain cells is pretty slow. Let me insert 2 memory slots at the back of your head so you could remember what happened to you till 14 years of your age. 2. After few minutes, Alexandra 7 came to know his real name is Subodh. He lived in Delhi, India, and how he got bullied every then and how his parents look like. What they do and how they raised him up. He spoke why you want to assassinate him, Adonis, sir. Adonis - he was president of Phenotech Labs. One of the prime labs of the country. I was his assistant. He took all my work, all my inventions, and you know what he did? He just gave me the credits of assistant only, and booked all inventions under his name. I've never got rewarded. That scumbag has taken everything what's mine and now he is the head of the People's Party Council. People think he is a saint. They loved him. Cheered him, but only his co-workers know that he sucks the blood out of every potential man he could ever found at his doorstep, same as any fictional vampire does to its prey. Thoroughly manipulative, he takes away the credit of the machine that could read any person's mind without any connection. That's what I made. Whatever you feel, touched, lived, sensations, imaginations, it's all recorded and stored in a database. It stored data of each and every individual of the earth through their mobile. It also catches your heartbeat through finger sensors. All of it stored in a website present in deep web which very few people could have known. I wanted to present it to the world, but that stuff was now hidden by the government, which they're using for fulfilling their personal evil motive for making elites more rich by providing them the business thoughts of common people like you, in order to make them succeed before you could even think of implementing your billion-dollar dreams plan. He threw me out of the lab when I revolted against his evil motives. See? People like these are imperialist. They make business out of every tear, every blood, every sweat they could ever came across. Subodh woohoo. That's revenge. I guess, in a most bizarre way that anyone could ever take. 3 Adonis, if I could give you all your memories right now, you would have killed him without even my order. We got the same enemies, that's why you're here. Suboth, first, release me from the straps, so I could at least sit on this stretcher and actually think what I'm headed to. Adonis claps, and imagery of 3 people from his back suddenly began to appear. He realized that there were many people like him that Adonis recruits. That's why he is Alexandra 7. All of them released 7 from the straps. 7 stood up and told him, why don't you ask them to assassinate instead of me? Adonis, trust me, you will feel better after killing him, once all regeneration occurs. Forgot about him, you will almost kill anybody who came after you, you were that much tortured mentally in your lifetime. Just let your brain regenerate naturally. Meanwhile, it would give me fair amount of idea that my invention is worthwhile or not. 7. If it's okay with you, I'm in, we gonna have a rampage for sure. Where does he live? Adonis, NA, you don't have to kill him through bullets, you're a virus host, the blood in your veins is contaminated with Alexandra virus, which is capable of killing a person in just 2 days, with inflammatory lung and form pus on the vessel, the neurotic pain with which a person goes through it astonishing, the blood in the end becomes thick and more viscous, which soaks up the veins and made them feel more tense, that lead to cardiac arrest eventually. 7. That's inhumane, I'm not gonna do this. Adonis, your parents are in my custody. 4. 7. Please, would you stop it, tell me, where did he reside at? Adonis, the location is on your right hand watch, GPS location, merely 1.5 kilometers, you could fly to the sky due to the jets attached on your back, all you got to do is press the button on your left elbow. There you go. Chapter 1, Assignment Date 2 1.03.2019. Time 4:30 a.m. Morning. 7 flew from the Island X and entered the Hubei, Hong Kong, where the PM lives. He entered in the Chariot Lane, 78, the address suggested by the GPS. He entered into the house through air pipe vents and finds in which room his prey resides. He went from kitchen, bathroom, living room, one by one, swiftly yet softly. He entered into the library room and found that the prey is dozing off on a seat with the book opened on his chest. He opened the AC vent, and put wall stoppers that helped him to crawl through the wall like a famous fictional character, Spider-Man. He came to floor, stand right in front of the man Li Chan, and wait for him to open the eyes. He began to tap on the floor a little in order to wake him up. Li Chan eyes opened after the noise, and it became wider after 7 presences. Before he could scream, 7 put hand on his mouth and said, trust me, it will be easy, I increase the dose so scum like you could leave Earth. Quickly Li Chan screamed with indistinctive voice, please leave me, I have a daughter. Li Chan is fairly tall and strong man, but his voice couldn't reach out of the walls of library. 5. 7 And I have my parents too, there is life on the line because of guys like you. Thou shalt not be spared. Your time has come. Grim Reaper has sent me to finish you off. All I could possibly assure you that your death is pretty quick. After Li Chan became subconscious, he began to reach on the ceiling. In the meantime, Li Chan's daughter entered the room. She screamed after watching her daddy's dead and fully masked black outfit, kind of like Black Panther costume guy with Bane-faced mask in the Batman series, is running from the AC vents. She cried inconsolably and called butchers for help and asked them to inform security guards to alarm them. Here, 7 rushes out the bungalow as fast as he could. He thoroughly passes the library, kitchen, but as soon as he reaches drawing room, sirens blew up. He began to run even more faster. He went to the rooftop, took a slide right on the park. Although he is machine, he could still feel the throttle of running. He could hear the guards behind him with sticks threatening him to stop. He cavorts the 10-feet wall with a single jump. He couldn't believe it, how much powerful he became. He is amused at himself. Meanwhile, guards rang up to police. Here, 7 was running to find a place from where he could easily take off the flight. Within few meters ago, he finds himself under a group who wear Guy Fawkes mask. Suddenly, he felt something hits his brain. A group of illusionary images begin to surface right in front of his eyes. Adonis was right, the regeneration process began to take place. He felt surge of current in the left backside of his brain. He stopped for a minute or two. He asks one of them why they were protesting. One of them responded they wanted a free Hong Kong state. Meanwhile, he was running, he found one of the potion on the waist felt down. T, it would be hazardous now, run away Subodh, run away as fast as you could. He murmured to himself. And took a great flight from the lonely place where nobody could see him fly. 6 Chapter 2 accomplished partially. Adonis was happy to hear the news of Li Chan's death. But worry a little about Alexandra 7 as he is far away from its true potential. He was terribly waiting for him like a fish gasping without water. Roaming continuously from one corner of the lab to another. At 10 a.m. he reached the lab after few hours of continuous traveling. Where were you? 7 I'm getting used to this, and, it's damn powerful. Adonis with a smile. Come on Pat, tell me what you did there. 7 went to tell whole story about how he entered his house and murdered him and couple of fails that he had while executing the mission. He also told that he doesn't want to indulge more into it as his conscience doesn't allows him to do so. Adonis doesn't pay heed to refusal and said you have done wonderful job despite few glitches, but that will also work in our favor. World will surely come to know there is an army in making. An evil that fights with evil to balance out the equation. Your assistance is more needed here, till then have fun. You gonna see outbreak in next 2 days. 7 seems to have guilt that he will be thoroughly responsible for few deaths. But Adonis doesn't have any. Moreover, he assigns other 6 Alexandras to go and inject virus in few other people who have exploited him in higher position. 7 pleaded, please leave my parent, they got nothing to do with that. Adonis, I surely would, but you need to wipe out 2 more people. 7 what? Adonis, you heard it correct. 7 who are they? Adonis will tell you later. If so many elites die in a single day, they will become active and vigilant. That would be disastrous. 7 sat down low in disappointment. All he could manage to say to him was to give his parents some food. Adonis in turn told him the glass chamber itself generates the food after every 6 hours and served to them. Chapter 3 Rampage. Today I've work for you 7, Adonis said. 7 woke up and asked about the details, to which Adonis replied, you need to kill the defense minister of Japan and China. 7 asked for reasons, to which Adonis said to mind his own task. This crass behavior of Adonis was not likely appreciated by 7. He hated him for pushing the things that could have sorted out the difference instead of killing. Task was obviously heavy, as killing defense minister is far more tough than any vice personnel and second man, as these arseholes kept the best forces for themselves. The last task of Adonis was surely Herculean. It takes multiple attempts to succeed in it. I'm not sure I will be successful or not. 7 said. 8 You will. You surely will. Adonis replied. Assignment date, 22. April 2019. Time, 3:40 p.m. 7 found that Jin, the defense minister of Japan, is addressing a meeting regarding some armory and weapon inclusions. He wore a service helper outfit and began to wash the window of 12th floor just below the floor on which meeting is held. He waited for 2 to 3 hours for meeting to end. After most of the delegates went outside the room, he entered the room through barging the windows. All the bodyguards around Jin gave an aghast look to 7. They went on to shoot him multiple rounds of firing from their AK-47. 7 dodged most of them. He can't even believe on his instincts. How could he even dodged hundreds of bullets? Few hit his body but left only minuscule wounds. He put an injection in his mini launcher and shoot right on the head of Jin. One of the bodyguard jumped in the midway to he in turn got injured. Other guards feared by it to see the person lying on the floor gargling white foam, his head turned pale blue. He fired another shot to the Jinn, this time with closer proximity. Bullseye. Right on the temple of Jinn. Same fate. In the meantime, all the sirens blew up. He need to ran fast to catch another target. The defense minister of China, Liu San, was on the way to the lift. He was in the same meeting with Jin. Adonis is one wise bugger. He knows when both of them will be together. While running through the gate down the floor, Alexandra 7 tapped down the GPS watch in order to locate him. He went down the stairs directly by jumping from the top of the 13th floor. He landed the ground floor few seconds before the lift reached the ground floor. The moment gate 9 opened is the moment Liu San got hit by the 7. While his bodyguards began to shoot, he ran away and flew back. It took him almost 9:00 at night to reach the island. Adonis was smilingly waiting for him to come. He told 7 congratulations, you made a breaking news today, you shocked the whole world by killing 2 white-collar delegates in a single day. What more one could expect? 7 your work is done. Now, please leave my parents. Adonis sure. Adonis opens the door from the same remote and told I leave them. You could drop them off at their residence. 7 yes Adonis and told them not to open their mouth. 7 sure. Please, give me my memories. I'm still struggling to recall whatever happened to me. Adonis gives the last 2 memory cards so he could recall his past. Adonis was damn sure that if 7 recalls his past, he would thoroughly remove half of the people who made him suffer. What's so special about Subodh's past? What happened to him? Chapter 4 Reminisce. It took 1 month to reach India, through seaways. He chooses sea because he wanted his parents to reach home safely without visa. He 10 made all the arrangements point perfect. His mother convinced him to stay with her forever. But, things were different. He told mother that there is an energy reactor on the left side of his chest which will be discharged after 2 to 3 days. He has some unfinished business with Adonis. He will be here soon. What gave him the worry was the virus Alexandra, that Adonis made had killed around 10,000 people in the world. He thought Adonis will pop up and demand few favors for vaccination. But things became totally different. He is nowhere to be seen and all he could see the panic of people around him yelping for help. Scientists were busy in finding vaccination. Doctors were trying every hook and crook method to save lives. He took flight to reach Island X. Adonis was amazed to see him again. Adonis, why you came here? 7 I need a recharge. Adonis, go there, plug in the jack on the right side of the lift. 7 sure. Meanwhile, 7 was in hibernate mode. He listened the talks of Adonis. He was talking to someone who sit in higher power. He used to think Adonis is doing all this stuff individually. But, things are sure pretty different. In the hibernate mode, 7 began to remember what happened to him in the past. Scene 1, he found himself in a courtroom drama, where he was giving statements to the judge. 11 Victim lawyer asked him to clear his intentions on the statement which brought him here. Subodh, my lord, me and Shalini had few chats here and there as a friend. As any other new friend on my social media. I went to her for an intro chat. Lawyer, I've couple of information of your ID, you didn't have a chat with each and every one. Subodh, isn't it great? I'm selectively social. I first observe people activities closely. When I found we had some common point, similar kind of thoughts etc. Then I give myself a green signal to have few words with them. Lawyer, could you remember what you've said? Subodh, nope, not exactly word by word, but I could remember the intentions with which it was said. I thoroughly meant kudos to her for standing for herself. That's all. My statement misinterpreted just like the same way a politician's statement was broken and made it look 2 cents, so I apologized to her and the very intent could be confirmed with the last words read, salute, which is done by socialist and communist as a token of appreciation and solidarity. Shalini, he is lying. It's a date chat. Subodh, in your opinion, in mine it was friendly, that's all. Lawyer Namit, do I read your statement to the court? Subodh: sure, by all means. Lawyer: good morning, don't want to disturb you with daily pings, but this is something I need to tell you, else I'll forget once again. Back in the days when you've that DP, I was newly added then, so I've not said that. I know that's a normal thing in Western countries, but in the 12 countries like India where everyone is ready to judge or label you from what you eat to what you wear, it's a notable thing to do in such a stereotypical society. And I've respect and love for the person who dares to challenge/break those rules, like a man shouldn't have a long hair and women shouldn't have a short one, etc. That's real women empowerment, to stand strong of herself. #respect #red_salute. Subodh: exactly it is. Lawyer: don't you find it cheap? It's terrible case of body shaming, backed up with an assault. Subodh: that's not lewd at all, at least from my perspective. But the receiver felt so, I'd apologized already. Lawyer: really, do I need to read again? Like a writer carefully, pinned down the word at perfect places to shame somebody on an outer coating of appreciation. Subodh: that's not the case. Also, I was budding writer at that moment, I'm not psycho, neither that much aware that people leave their intentions in the middle of the words. Lawyer: lie, you're a shrewd liar. Subodh: the worst part of social media that one could not anticipate body language with which a statement is said. One's body language constitutes 70% of intentions with which a statement comes out. Lawyer: is it so? I don't feel like that in your case. You compare her with a star. Subodh: I thought she would like that, as I'm saying her beauty is so much great that you could compare her with a star. Shalini: who are you to judge someone's beauty? 13 Subodh: I thought we had a good vibe together after 2 to 3 chats, miss, I've a struggling mind, you know that. I forgot quite a lot, plus, if something stuck in my head it would become recursive. Never thought this would be happening after that. If I knew that I would have never pinged you at first place. Lawyer: nice try, to defend yourself. Subodh: I couldn't be more clear with myself, just look at my hairstyle, all of them look. Subodh: he is surely hiding funk in the attires of formal. 3 stripes of cut above the right ear. 1 big cut on the right side which separates that portion of the hair from the portion that have longer hair. To name it exactly would be a mix of disconnected cut mid-comb over with a tint of beardy face. Lawyer now tries to defend himself by saying that it's typical Indian mentality to conquer all good resources for themselves and not for her wives. He is running away from the confession that he likes her. That could be more clear with that statement. Subodh: now, if you want to be that much honest, then listen, I visited her profile here and there. She is quite an elite, and she wrote in her bio that she is the founder of some music studio producer. As her company starts with the name studio. I wanted to be a rapper, I wanted a break from this daily life where people dies and nobody even knows that you ever existed. Is that clear to you? Also, I like to be around independent girls, kinda manly one. Lawyer: it's just a start and you're panicking. There is so much to ask from you. She told that she is into fashion business, not in music. So why did you come back and write such a huge statement? 14 Subodh: I had a BP issue. When I feel pressure, tremors began to occur, my voice began to stammer when I feel nervous. So you've asked me that why I came back. It's quite simple. She changed her DP and I told you already I'm kinda attracted to manly look of girls. I don't hold thoughts, neither I can afford to, so I went straight to her. That's it. Consider it as my weird brain chemistry. Lawyer: my lord, he is quite vocal about his sufferings, but he never told how did he got it? Do you? Subodh: what do you mean by that? Lawyer: your addiction. Subodh: I've gone to few regular joints when I'm above 21 and founded that it didn't suited me, so I left like any other individual does. I'm sober since last 4 years. Lawyer: what are your religious views? Subodh: why does it matter? Lawyer: it does matter with the case. Subodh: I'm a de facto atheist, I believe there is one life, I treat God as ideals, not just idols. They might emerge as heroes in the past who go beyond human values, thus they are called as God. Lawyer: okay. Fair enough. Who are your ideals then? Subodh, if you ask particularly who are worshipped, then it's Shiva, Buddha and Mahavir. Lawyer, you're the god of your own life? What about other religions? Subodh, Osho was the first one to say that. Religions are the man's approach for their shadow of God. I'm against superstition that could lead to potential harm, not the idea of God. And my constitution allows me 15. Lawyer, what does love and respect mean? Subodh, love and respect and trust are the pillars on which any relationship prevails. If any one of them perish, relations falls apart, even if it's of siblings or the spouse. Lawyer, you know why I've questioned? Subodh, not probably. Lawyer, how casual you're? You forgot the context of girl named Yunana whom you had a brawl on social media. Subodh, that fight is on religious views. As I've told you earlier, I'd an BP issue, she called me a hole in the public. You see, she started first. Lawyer, and you cunningly said something related to my client. That became an assault. Subodh, Bulsh, T. Sexual assault is an act in which a person intentionally sexually touches another person without that person's consent, or coerces or physically forces a person to engage in a sexual act against their will. 1. It is a form of sexual violence, which includes rape, forced vaginal, anal, or oral penetration, or drug-facilitated sexual assault, groping, child sexual abuse, or the torture of the person in a sexual manner. I've not touched any girl in her life without her consent. I was raised by a feminist and I thoroughly know the concept of consent. I could say it to anyone with pride. I've not even met her in real life till today. How could I even assault her? Lawyer, it's a case of online harassment and body shaming. Subodh, you keep on telling the concept of body shaming, but does your client knows the concept of body shaming? She did a haha react on social media on a social friendly comment which could potentially lead to body shaming. So, when it comes to a girl it becomes body 16 shaming. When there was a boy, then it's a friendly banter. What say? Here is the screenshot. Now let's talk about harassment. Unwelcome touching or other physical contact, asking or demanding sex or any other sexual activity, making remarks which are of a sexual nature, showing pornographic material which may include videos, magazines, books, etc. There is a separate law on sexual harassment at workplaces, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal, Act and Rules 2013. There are provisions in the main criminal law which are different from the special law on sexual harassment. The IPC is not limited to sexual harassment at the workplace, but punishes such harassment done anywhere. The IPC makes it possible to file a criminal complaint if you have been sexually harassed, while the special law gives you the option of seeking civil remedies and damages, involving your office administration. Lawyer gave an aghast look and said, why, you've used multiple ads. To increase the traffic for my book and to increase my fan base and like-minded hip-hop people. You know, people with fake ads appear to be more real than real people wearing masks on social media. Subodh said. Moreover, I got a banter over the Parali issue from my main ID which addresses air pollution on Indian festival, Diwali, which lead to suffocation and heart-related disease. So I wanted to migrate my group of people to the other ID. Lawyer, you already planned this, don't you? 17. Subodh, nope, that was an act of aggression, not revenge, and certainly not harassment at all. Lawyer, you're still hiding couple of things. Subodh means. Lawyer, you told other people about the chat between you and her. Subodh, not even in the million years. Man, I'm very private guy when it comes to life. I had a chat with one guy that I fucked up, but I didn't tell details about her. All I said in those chats that I got screwed up by my own anger and my heart is broken. That's all. I too need a helping hand, and I was constant prey to bully by her side of people. Shalini, just shut your freaking mouth, it was your people who started first. Subodh, it wasn't me, girl. What you posted in the Facebook group about me gave them info. It was those two guys who sitting there, Hidayat Khan and Gaganpreet Singh, who contact with the guy Amit Savrakar. You could easily retrieve the chats from there as big guns are supporting you. Judge, the court will adjourn till Tuesday. Bring all your evidences to the court. Scene 2, lawyer presented every chat with the help of Itzel in front of the judge. Meanwhile, Subodh presented the letter he given to Itzel that addresses the complaint of misusing his identity by her people by hacking all his Wi-Fi and mobile phones to gather all the information for their personal use, which is a violation of privacy rights. 18 Lawyer: my lord, here is all the chat. They have no such great talks as you see. He comes up with baseless claims to divert court attention. Subodh: nope. When you observe these chats carefully you will find them talking in code so they could share information without even telling each other details. So I'm not. She is responsible for her own bully. Shalini: I was scared, I don't know what to do in those moments. Subodh: that's why I ping you again, because I got the vibe that something messed up. I was talking about your friend, meanwhile, addressing you. If you got any problems share with me. To which you responded everything is okay, not once but twice. Lawyer: sir, this guy right here is a potential rapist. I'll tell you how. Namit plays the video of Subodh douching in his bathroom. After watching this, Subodh began to cry inconsolably. He began to gasp for his breath. Judge asking Namit, the lawyer of Shalini, to stop this video and delete it. Lawyer: another thing, look at the sound wave of his brain. His brain was generating pedo vibes. Subodh: sir, that's serious violation of privacy of rights. The first time someone is convicted of non-consensual pornography it is considered a gross misdemeanor. If the person does it again it will be a felony charge, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and up to 25,000 in fines. In some situations, the person can also be charged with voyeurism in the first degree. This also proves that she initiated the 19 breach of privacy in our home. Another worse thing of #me_2 campaign is they began to bully. If they didn't find flaws in a human, they make one in order to present other side more evil. Everything right from my birth, I felt, touched, sensed, feared, liked, disliked. They know everything as they could read my brain. Shalini: shut up. Nobody cares about your hole. Subodh: isn't it body shaming, by the way? Also, if they have so much info about me they could see if I could ever attracted by a child before the bully. I'm sure they don't. It ain't possible. Subodh stand up and showed the screenshots of famous celebrity who bullied him in one way or other, called him a pedo. He also convinced judge that it was a propaganda driven in order to rob someone's dignity. So one could never face up in the court for justice. He told it was a group of religious people who tried to demean him for not believing in their beliefs. It was an attempt to demean LGBTQ people by demeaning him. Lawyer: stop this bullshit, and tell me, is this a normal human brain works? Subodh: how could one be normal when he got bullied from all the side, would you? If you are in my place. When everyone around you began to know everything about you, be it relatives, friends, stars you adore and followed, they began to use info in a bad way. My lord, I'm a great babysitter and pet lover. They did everything to change my brain chemistry by laying out traps around me, which I couldn't understand until I began to decode what the actual fuck was happening. Judge: how could you so sure about it? 20 Subodh: I could prove that. See, my birthday is March 17, 1993 and hers is April 14, 1992. 1 plus 7 equals 8, so they use timestamps and date which will address something which they want to address me. Also, 17 plus 3 plus 1993 equals 6 in one's place. Also 14 could be written as 1 plus 4 equals 5 and 14 plus 4 plus 1992 equals 3 in one's place. They also used tens complement of each number to write the status. They used me too as me too or for me in code language to address peers about the updates. They made movies, songs, and media in a way that it could struck fears in you. Privacy breach may look normal, but harm people in 4 ways: false presentation of identity of individual, misuse of personal data for fun, data phishing and money scams, cyberbullying and cyberstalking. Lawyer: guys like you deserve this. These guys are inhumane? What would you call yourself, a guy or a girl? Subodh: I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a mixture of both, yet not both at the same time. I'm believe in gender fluid, I'm queer, half king half queen. You can't deny my existence. Lord Ardhanarishwara, a half woman half man, constitutes Shiva and Shakti. Do you know how Bhagirathi was born, the marriage of Tija and Bija? You just passed a homophobic slur on me. But, I'm okay. Lawyer, don't you run away from the topic. This guy has bad past of relationships. Subodh, I think you're great right from the childhood. You've never fallen. You've married your first love of your life. Sir, my uncle got the queen of his life after 6th attempt. Relationship fails. People change. 21 things didn't work up as it may be planned in the head. That doesn't mean it's cheating. Since when moving on from something undesirable becomes cheating? What me_2 these days emphasize is not to cheat, but continuing a relationship which is not working is more toxic and hazardous both mentally and physically. Most of the cases like Nana Patekar, Alok Nath come out as clean. Power came up with responsibilities. Sexual harassment is still a stigma around the society. Me_2 could be helpful if all of them used it correctly. Shalini, he is lying, he is cheating, he passes ill remarks and now trying to run away from it. He was dating 2 people at the same time. Subodh, never, I left you when I got mixed vibes with you. I never think about you as a date. I thought about it as a connection. Even if you consider me as a cheat, I would like Mr. Nimit to tell you what section 497 is. I rest my case here. There had been rounds of talks and judge sentenced that Subodh act was an act of aggression. But aggression is not acceptable. So he would be serving 6 months of jail. Shalini conspired and breached the privacy and used information for social harm is unacceptable too. She will be in the jail for 2 years. Nimit, this is unacceptable. Subodh was handcuffed, so does Shalini. Nimit approaches the judge outside the office and asks to extend punishment of Subodh. Judge, you're an asshole, Nimit. You must have known Subodh has heart-related issues. He will not live long in the jail. The time he will be dead. You file this case again. I will free her with a nominal fine. Subodh got welcomed by the piss custom of the prisoners. He got beaten brutally and all the prisoners piss on him for entering the jail on this lowly crime. They said he should have killed her at least before 22 coming to the jail. Such a noob he is. He got saved by the Hamid, a prisoner who ruled the left side of the jail. After 2 months Subodh died of food poisoning and all goes same as planned. Chapter 5 Blazing Fire. Alexandra 7 opened his eyes, he now remembers who did what to him. Adonis could feel the blazing fire inside of him. He went out to kill everyone who did injustice to him. He first entered into USA. It takes 3 days to reach there. He first sneak into the Matthew house. He topped the list because he spent almost 9 years hearing his songs. He couldn't even believe when he got dissed by his own guy. He could believe that he could live his life listening to song without him. There was not even a single day, he listened to him. He entered in his house the same way he murdered PM for the first time. Matthew was sleeping on couch. He played a lot of games on Xbox probably. He wakes him up with a tap on the floor. Hey. You miss me? Bring your freaking launchers. 7 said. Matthew began to call 192 within a blink. An injection hits on his left eye. The pain was vicious. So does he want to? He went on to find Stingray, who was one of the most influential new era rapper, but found he was already dead. Death isn't merciless. He got the info that Stingray died 1 month ago due to cardiac arrest before he could get up to him. 23 He then went to Jeffrey, the tall hunk, rapper, a half nigga but a blazing rapping speed. He was one of the torchbearer of it. He barges into his drawing room and killed him with a vicious punch on the back of his neck. He went on to kill all those people who were playing with the lives of the normal people. Just because they were on the upper ladder of him. So, they could not belittle others. He wanted people to go the right way instead of gaining few brownies through mental overexploitation of a person. To him it is just similar to a custom in Middle East where bullies pick up a girl, encircle her, some pretends to save her, some pretends to threaten her, and the cycle continues until the victim gets beaten or raped. The sensations were same despite being virtual. Just change the gender here. Many of them does suicide, but nature gave a shot to 7 and he is capitalizing it gradually. He went to last person, the person from where the game begins, Shalini. She was busy in the kitchen around 11 p.m. preparing food for her family. 7 entered through the window. Shalini couldn't believe she was watching Subodh, who was dead 3 months ago. She wanted to scream, but he hit her with the same intent and speed. No mercy, as she left none when he was surviving. Chapter 6 Adonis. So you've come, Adonis said. 24 Yes, today I feel good after removing half of the scumbags who lobby to exploit normal people. Adonis smiles while in the back of his head he thought that 7 is foolish as predicted. How many people have you killed, Adonis? 300 plus 1. Adonis finds 7 at the back of him when he just turns around. 7 grabs his neck and asks who ordered him to do this. Adonis didn't respond to it. He asks how to cure it. Adonis didn't reply either. He went to hit him with the blade. Adonis opens the electric saber and hit right on the waist. Adonis was above him now and he was screaming in pain. Someone gathers courage and hit Adonis' head even when he was above him, throwing punches one by one. Bullseye. He begins to find books under which Alexandra virus cure is written, after reading tens of books in an hour. He found one. But first he got an idea. He gave all the Alexandra's signals to come back. Now he opens up emergency channel and told all the precautionary measures. 1. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. 2. Avoid touching your face, eyes, mouth, and nose. 3. Avoid contact with people who are vulnerable. If not, wear a mask. 4. Cover your cough with the bend of an elbow. 5. Disinfect surfaces you regularly use. 6. If you feel unwell, stay at home and healthcare provider. 7. Quarantine yourself when flu-like symptoms arises. 25-8. The combination of hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin are highly effective for treatment. 9. Use of vitamin C. 10. Papaya juice and Tinospora cordifolia for immunity. Epilogue. As soon as all the Alexandras begin to enter the lab through lift, he began to overexert power on himself. Ha! 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 Aeon! Aeon! Screamed 7. The moment door of the lift opened, he picked up blade from the waist and hit on his own energy reactor. Everything blasted like a boom. A huge amount of energy erupts. None of the Alexandras were alive. Sometimes devils bring the best out of the people. Alexandra 7 felt glad on what he did. All the memories were right in front of the eyes like a stream of memories. 26. About author Shubham Srivastava is a software developer, blogger, content writer who loves to listen music, read books, and to have some good food with friends. Introvert to the core who loves to observe or analyze to get bottom of the things. Google Play Bookstore for all collection of ebooks. https://play.google.com/store/book/author?ID =Shubham +Srivastava Amazon Author Central https://www.amazon.com/shubhamsrivastava/e/b0817wlg9?ref_pe_1724030_13299806027